Ladies and gentlemen, it's the after party. DJ Mike and Friends every Thursday night, 8 p.m. on YouTube. Cut It Up Music. We got special guests in the house tonight.
Yeah.
We got Mace the Tables. We got DJ Mike. We also got Hugo Gomez and the one and only Chuy Gomez. I'm just going to say it like this. If you don't know who this brother is, you did not grow up in the Bay Area.
Slap
You know what I mean?
yourself.
Right.
Slap yourself.
I think.
And your mama for that
Yeah,
matter,
I think
right?
I first heard you, Chuy, on. You were on 90, not 90. It wasn't 94.9 then. Was it 94.9 already?
No, it was,
It was 107.7 back then.
107.7. It was wild 107.7, and it became 94.9.
At that time frame. Something like that's a long time ago now.
Man.
Yeah.
They're putting it down for over 30 years, man.
Word.
Been a nice run.
Very nice run.
Right. Still going.
Still going.
Still going.
Yeah.
Right?
If you don't know, he was on a very famous radio station for many years here in the Bay. Yeah.
I was born in '84.
Yeah.
Nice.
So pretty much my whole life.
I'll tell you how I first met Chuy. A good friend of mine was your intern, DJ D-Real. We had him on last season. And he used to sneak me into KML when you guys were on the air.
Oh, shit.
And I'd sit there. They used to keep all the records for the DJs right in front of the studios right
DJ
there.
room, yeah.
So you would be on the air. You probably never even noticed who I was. And I'm sitting there digging, getting all the free records I could.
We came up, we came in all these free records. God.
Right. So, yeah, a long time, man. How do you feel about your mix?
I feel good about my
Yeah.
mix, man. It's retro.
Retro, very retro, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed. You played some great classic. Ended it with that
man.
Pete Rock, CL Smooth, the creator.
That was dope, man.
Very
Oh,
dope,
shit.
very
Oh,
dope. And
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
again, we're blessed to have you guys down here. This is a crazy time. The DJ game has basically been obliterated.
The club scene, the DJ
The whole
game,
situation.
live performances, all your favorite rappers, musicians. You can't see them nowhere. It
Yes.
sucks.
Change right now.
Yes.
Man, life has changed as we know it.
Yes,
Yeah.
especially for
I mean,
us.
for me, I gotta tell him I'm a blessed because all this is because of that.
Oh, really?
If it wasn't for COVID, I wouldn't be here. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be in this room. I wouldn't be doing this podcast stuff.
Wow.
I'd be DJing.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I
Right.
wouldn't have stopped. You
Right.
know what I mean? Because I was, doing the hardest I can, trying to DJ everywhere I can. You know what I mean?
Right.
And yeah. So I mean, if it wasn't for COVID, I definitely wouldn't.
But
do none of this shit.
COVID
So for me, it
has allowed folks to reinvent themselves.
Exactly.
That's what it's
Or
done,
I
definitely.
tell Mike all the time, or master what you do. You know,
Right.
If
Yeah.
you're doing something and you know you're going to be doing it for many more years, you should maybe invest a little bit of knowledge. And so when you get back to it, it'll be a little easier.
Well,
on
you know,
yourself,
you know
I
what
mean?
it did for me is, for those who don't know, I work a day job, a very intense day job. I'm a union carpenter,
Yeah.
and I push this DJ thing as hard as I can. So for me personally, I've spent a few years from a job site to a show or a gig, back to a job site, sleeping in my truck, bringing my work clothes with me, 2-3 hours here, 2-3 hours sleep over there. It allowed me, or it forced me to just hit the brakes. And then, like May said, to kind of regroup, reinvent myself, and sharpen up what I am. And like we were showing you earlier, the part of the band I'm in for soul music, I've gotten involved with that and just a lot of projects here. So that's what it's done for me personally,
Yeah.
And but I know a lot of cats out there that they're done in the water, you know what I mean, at what we do. And that's part of why we started this show, So, and one thing, since we're talking, one thing I want to talk about that I got beef with, Pioneer and Rain coming out with all these mixers, all these different mixers,
Every day I gotta hear
and the
this guy,
Technique
man.
1200 Mark 7s, and
Every day.
new Ortofon coming with new needles and cartridges,
Good thing
all
I found,
this.
though, that means that the craft is still going.
I
They're
guess
still inventing.
new
Trust me,
CDJs.
if there was no money, they wouldn't be inventing shit.
Right. I mean, people
Right.
are buying records again. That's a beautiful
Yeah,
thing, man.
Beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing. So I mean, to each his own, and there's always going to be
Unless
new
you're a
stuff.
record-only guy, them guys are killing me. Those are a lot of my friends. Those are a lot of my friends.
Right,
the
right.
It's like-
hardcore scratch guys. They're like, oh, vinyl only still, and I'm like, bro, 2020. Vinyl
Don't
only.
hurt your back, bro. Get an MP3 player. Get an MP3 player, bro. You can get all that on
Right,
one little
right.
thumb drive, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? I don't got to carry a big
But
heavy
I don't
record
hate
bag.
on them. No, it's still dope.
No,
I
to
mean,
each his own, bro. I mean,
I mean, for me, it's just money. If I had it, I probably would. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know that's
You know what I mean?
Well, actually, I saw a few years. I was talking to you. I saw you a few years back at the Cherry Festival in San Leandro. I was with my kids, and we chopped it up for a minute. And one piece of game that you said to me at that time was I was talking about a lot of these cats are into the 45s and doing these, these 45 sets and these 45 shows. You yourself, you had a small controller at that time. And here I am, DJ Mike, Technique 1200s for life,
Right.
And I'm like, wow, that's what Chuy's using, huh? And you broke down to me, you know what? The people don't care.
Give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck if you're on 1200s, if you're on Stantons, if you're on Vestax, Pioneer,
Nope.
a little controller, a big controller, or whatever. They don't care. They want to hear their jam, and especially if you can do it in a way that makes it even more. That's all they care about.
At the end of the day, they want to hear their favorite song.
Right.
And if you bring it to them, and there's something nostalgic when you walk into a spot and there's a guy queuing up a 45 to play it, and there's an ambiance, and you walk into a nice bar, they got nice drinks. It goes with the ambiance. Yes, I love it. I'm not one to carry a box of records. I can walk into a spot with my computer and have music for the next 2 weeks if I wanted to.
Right.
Correct.
You know what I'm
Correct.
saying?
Non-stop.
And you're limited to 2 hours within your little box, and that's cool. I mean, you're not going to play more than 2 hours anyway.
Right.
So, I mean,
I just because I got a lot of those friends.
Right,
I mean, they
right.
grew up hardcore
vinylists,
scratching,
and I love it.
vinyl. And it's good, like I tell them.
I was one of them.
you
There was a
Like,
time I was
there's
one
no
of them.
need to hate
Yeah.
that, isn't there?
Yeah, but the controller that you saw me carrying that day, I mean, I put that in the back of my backpack as an emergency because there's been many a times when you walk into a club and they got turntables, but the tone arm somebody broke it because they were drunk.
The pitches out.
And you're like
of
the
whack.
pitches don't match.
Faders all fucked up.
Right.
The right channel on that turntable doesn't work. So you gotta instant double and do this. I'm like, fuck this. Let me bring my little controller in my backpack as an emergency.
Yeah.
Worst comes to worst, I put this controller on top of that turntable, and guess what?
Yeah.
I'm in the mix.
Yeah, no, it's real.
You know what I'm saying? So that to me was like the easiest thing, and it's like an emergency
It's
backup.
hard for me, Chuy, because I'm a true old school guy. Mike,
Right, me too. Me too.
Yeah.
I'm like,
One of the
it was
last gigs I
forever.
did before the lockdown was I did ROTC at the Boom Boom
Yeah,
Room,
I was there.
and I went to use their tables. So I don't know how Kev does it. I don't think he takes them out of the cases. Here's DJ. I take them out of the cases. I want to set them up how we have them in the studio.
Yeah.
All the feet fall
DJ
off.
Mike.
All the feet fall. They don't just fall off; they fall apart.
Oh.
The little spring inside.
right.
I'm like, oh my god. So now I'm sitting here trying to like balance their feet, and I do all this back and forth stuff. I couldn't do none of that shit that night.
Nope.
I got through the night.
That's
what
why, I mean,
but no,
as
it's
much as
real.
I hate
It's so
carrying
real.
shit,
What you're saying.
I've always just brought my own. People ask me, "Oh, I got this." Nope, I'll bring my own. Fuck it. I don't care. I'll lug it because I hate.
More power to your back.
I hate being uncomfortable with the
Well,
set.
this is what it
Especially
was.
If I don't know the set.
For me personally, I'd go to a club or I'd go to a wedding or whatever back in the day, 20 something years ago.
See, like I was telling, big shout out to Hugo.
My brother,
We were telling him like I don't fucking blame you. Like especially like a wedding, you're not gonna fucking scratch.
No.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. I used to carry 6, 7, 8 crates
You
of
don't need
records
to,
sometimes, depending on the gig. What am I playing? 2 of those crates at the most? At the most.
Yeah.
So today I bring a 5 terabyte Lacey and I'm good.
You got all the instant classics, right?
Right?
That's
Very
crazy,
good.
man. So
So-
I got a question, Chuy, for you. So, when did you start DJing? Like what?
I had to have been, I don't know, 13, 14 years old.
What year is this?
Shit, had to have been 82, 83.
Wow.
Wow, yeah, my whole life.
Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah.
it's funny because, but I've been collecting records since I was probably 7 years old.
Yeah,
My mom
Yeah.
would take us down Mission Street to Música Latina, and I get to
Okay.
buy a 45, every paycheck. So that would have been every, 15 days, every
Yeah.
other week.
Yeah.
I get to buy a 45. My mom said, here, pick a record.
Nice.
And I'm buying music in the bush. I'm buying
Right.
Foxy, get off.
Yeah.
And so, but I mean, I grew up listening to my mom, and she was, listening to the radio heavy, and so I got turned on to music, and so I just started buying 45s and just listening to them. Next thing you know, I got the itch, and started with some belt drive turntables
Nice.
and some Fisher speakers.
Nice. If you don't mind me asking, what was your first per se setup?
A realistic mixer. Some they were techniques, but they were belt drives, some
Okay.
turntables. No pitch.
Originally, they
No
were
pitch.
S-Match.
With the S
Yeah,
arm
they're-
or no? Did they have the S arm or no?
No,
No, probably didn't have an S on. Probably had straight arm.
your original one
With
were
the little
SIB 20s.
sideways.
There you go. See, he knows. He knows.
I grew up on my boy's dad had a technique belt drive, but it had an S arm. It was pretty clean. Like I grew up good on that. Like I grew up with that, and like Scratch Master starting off. You know what I mean? And I remember that. Then they had an 06 Pro with it. And that shit
Yeah,
was
see
pretty
that?
good.
That's way better than us.
I started on I didn't start on the realistic, but all my boys had the realistic.
Yeah.
I had one from the Good Guys. I think it was an Audio Technica Ants AM100. I had right, left, mic, line, bass, and treble. You know, and then I didn't have to. I had a Techniques. It was quartz drive,
Hey,
but it didn't have a pitch.
right.
So I put that here, and I had a Techniques cassette deck with some, like, the little levers were like this.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I'd loop it. Boom.
That's crazy.
That's the pause tape
It would,
mixer.
take,
Hard-ass work.
it would take me 45 minutes to make 1 minute of music.
Of course. That's
You know?
pause tape mixes.
Yeah, right.
You gotta go bop 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 bop.
Yeah.
Man,
Right.
that's dope, bro.
That's real dope. So starting back then, you see the game today. You see the equipment, what people have done with this crap. I mean, these battle DJs, guys like the Red Bull, like Jay Espinosa, Lazy Boy. Is your mind blown? Or are you just like, this is how it's just gone?
Well, no, I mean, it never ceases to amaze me, even when you used to watch, Q-Bert or Magic Mike. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like,
Mixmaster Mike.
Yeah.
It's like Mixmaster Mike and Q-Bert were doing some outlandish things that you couldn't think would be able to be done on
Yes.
a turntable.
Still remember the first
Still.
time I seen
Still
that
to this
live,
day.
yeah.
And then you see these guys now, Miles Medina, you see,
Yes.
Jay Espinosa, and the cue points on the S9 or the control or whatever they seem to be using. You could do so much stuff.
Right.
And if you got your cue point set up, I mean, you could mesmerize anybody. And these guys are just, out of this world. When I first met Lazy Boy, there was a lot of music
Yeah,
he didn't
shout
know.
Lazy Boy.
And he's like, what is that? I was like, you don't know this? This is CC Peniston, finally.
Yeah.
Really? You don't know this? Okay. But now, I mean, the kid is like really put his head in the books, studying.
definitely.
He's getting to know his classes, getting to know his breaks. But his technique was always there. His technique was always
Yeah.
there, whatever he was playing. And so the kid is fire.
It's a little disappointing that he didn't get to go to the World this year.
Yeah,
With everything else that he's dealing
health
with in
and
his
crisis,
life.
you know,
Yes.
it's-
Still, he should have won some.
I was there that night
Should've
when
had
he won the
two
US
DMC.
championship, and there's no question. The other DJs were up there just to make it a competition.
Right.
That was his night without question. It without question.
You just felt it. It just even
Yeah.
on the TV, it just poured out that way. The computer.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah.
So
He's definitely something special. And I've seen him
He'll be on here soon.
right.
Yeah, on the show.
Right. We're trying to get him on now, so we're trying to book it up and get it set up. The
Super
game
cool.
today with DJing. Where do you guys see the game going after this whole COVID situation? Hopefully, God willing, starts to loosen up, slow up.
Well, it's allowed a lot of cats to reinvent themselves. A lot of bedroom DJs became stars.
Yeah.
Right.
Because before you had nowhere to go, but now with the power of Instagram and Twitch and Mixcloud and all these sites that are allowing you to mix, these kids didn't have to go be booked at a club, and these kids had skills, and nobody had to know they had skills.
Yeah.
because they were bedroom DJs.
Word.
They had a regular job like my dude right here. He's got a full-time construction job. These kids work full-time, but their love is video games and DJing.
Right.
And they go in there and they scratch and they loop and they even produce tracks. And when you start seeing these kids blow up, and you're like, where'd they come from? Well, they've been here the whole time. You just ignored them.
Yes.
Exactly.
So now that's what the beauty of this has done, is allowed a lot of kids to shine.
Yes.
And the female DJs are winning right now.
Oh,
winning.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
Winning.
Female DJs right now are winning. And there's a lot of women out there
Yes,
that got
they are.
skills that folks didn't even know. Like I said, you've ignored these ladies,
Yes.
didn't want to book them, or let them go to the femme fatale party. Let them go to the all-girl party. You know, nobody wants to
Yeah.
book them. Now they're showing improvement. And yo, we got to follow him, bro.
Definitely.
with it.
Definitely. I follow a lot already.
Peaches crew.
You know what I'm saying?
And Peaches Crew, we're trying to get some of them on right now. We definitely want to highlight everybody.
Definitely could be.
Radio, music, hip hop. There was a time I can remember in my lifetime, radio hip hop was MC Hammer, Vanilla Ice, Rodney O. Joe Cooley, maybe going back to Cali, maybe a couple classic Run DMC hits. Today, hip hop is full-time mainstream. I mean, how do you feel about this? Is it a good thing, a bad thing? Do you like the way it's developed?
I think hip hop. I mean, the names that you dropped were always the mainstream pop ones. But
Yes.
I mean, if you go back, I
Back,
mean,
back.
all those other groups, you know, Digital Underground, Hyro,
Yes.
Drew Down, Too Short, Smith and Wesson, they all got played, and they all got rotation, and but those other guys happen to break along the whole country.
Yes.
They were major stars. So those are the
Mainstream.
names that everybody says. Vanilla Ice, Hammer, but Hammer was a star, bro. You know, as much as y'all want to put him in the cornball category, he is far from a cornball.
definitely.
No,
He'll lay you
not
out.
at all.
But no, but I'm saying, I mean, this guy's put in a lot of work, and you know, they were down selling out the trunk.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, you got guys like Short and 40 and Hammer who really sold out the trunk.
Yeah.
And put in their
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
And I mean, they were blessed enough to blow up, and they were able to feed a lot of people behind what they were doing.
I don't think Hammer gets the props
no,
that
he
he
doesn't.
deserves.
No.
We talk about Short, we talk about 40,
Especially, I mean,
we
talk
talk about
big,
so
I
many
mean,
others.
yeah, I mean,
We
Hammer
talk
was
about
everywhere,
cats that
right?
didn't nearly have his success and put in what he
Everywhere.
put in, but we don't talk about him. And
Yep.
I don't know why.
Put in work and
Commercials
got
and
hella money.
everything,
You know,
Yeah.
you was doing the hammer dance. You wanted a pair of the parachute pants.
Don't
front, stop front, stop
Right, right.
Everybody had one of those.
You know what I'm saying?
right?
So-
Now, for me personally, one thing is I can remember saving up to buy my first 1200s. Let's say 91. Let's say I'm listening to the Cameo Mix Show DJs, Prince Ice, Joe Quick's, Glenn Oury. I can't even remember everybody. I'm going blank right now, but a lot of dope cats. You'd hear there was the Cameo playlist every hour, whatever,
Yeah,
and then there
yeah.
was the Mix Show DJs. And you'd hear KRS-One, and you'd hear EPMD,
Yeah.
and you'd hear Tribe Called Quest, and other groups like that. Today, when I listen, those mix shows DJs aren't playing anything different than what's in rotation.
Stuff has changed a lot because now you're bound to a list that they give you. So you know you don't longer have a DJ that was like a Joe Quicks that had a different flavor than a Prince Ice.
Yes.
That had a different flavor than Latin Prince. That had a different flavor than Glenn Oury.
Yes.
That had a different flavor than you name it, whatever. So nowadays, if you want to work at a radio station, you get a list. You got to play these songs.
Yeah.
Now you as a chef, because you're a chef, you're cooking up
Yes.
these records. The way you play these 20 records is different than the way he's going to drop them.
Yes.
Than the way Hugo's going to drop them.
Correct.
And so that's the only variety you get. But there's no longer the fact that Hugo is bringing to you the Mystic Journeyman.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? And you're bringing the Rodney O and Joe Cooley.
Yeah.
And I'm bringing, Father Dom. You know what I'm saying? So that was the flavor back in the day where you were allowed a chance to break.
Drop a couple, yeah.
Right.
And big shouts out to my folks, Mystic Journeyman, since Chuy brought him up.
You know what I'm saying? So, there's a lot of cats out here that put in a lot of work,
Yeah.
and they, we played them all on CMC.
Yes,
and I've been doing
correct.
CMC for 30 plus years.
Correct.
Big shot.
And everybody from Hammer to Rodney O and Joe Cooley
Yes.
to Mystic Journeyman
Yes.
to Father Dom,
I used to watch
Drew
it,
Down,
I
and
used to watch
so
it. Crazy story
you know.
for that is, I used to watch it. Remember, I told you when I was in the juvenile hall.
when you was locked up, huh?
Juvenile hall,
Yeah.
probably
4 o'clock in the city.
2000. Yeah.
Yeah, we were big in the penitentiaries.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Yes, sir.
Now I remember CMC before you,
that's crazy.
but I'm
Well,
under
CMC's been there.
but I'm under the impression that you're very much CMC today.
Well, it's funny. You could probably call CMC the Chuy music channel, but
Yeah.
no. The CMC started by Rick Hergen. This guy had a dream of playing videos, and he actually did it almost at about the same time MTV did.
Yes.
So it ran
That's
almost
where I got mine.
almost synonymous. But the fact that MTV was on cable, so you had to have cable because we didn't get it in South City. We only saw MTV at my uncle's house in San Jose.
Same kind of deal.
They only had it in San Jose. We didn't
I
get
had a
it out here.
babysitter that had.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So, but out here, we were lucky to have a Soul Beat, and we were lucky to have enough to have CMC.
Yes.
And those were broadcast. Well, Soul Beat was only broadcast in the East Bay on the East Bay on their cable system. So if you lived in the East Bay from Richmond to almost Hayward, you were able to watch Soul Beat because that was on their cable system. Unlike CMC, who we are on channel 26, that was broadcast everywhere.
Yeah.
So you could watch us in Vallejo, you could watch us in Hayward, San Jose, you could watch us in Stockton for some time. We were out in Fresno.
Yeah.
So you know, we were the broke man's MTV.
Yeah.
You didn't need cable. You could turn on the TV and go to the UHF channels and find channel 26. And boom, there goes Chuy Gomez.
Yes.
But I mean, Andy Kawanami, my man that did Hip Hop Fridays, is the guy that brought me in because him and I used to work at KSOL together.
Okay.
And then he started working at CMC and convinced me to come down there. Come on down. I said, no, I'm a radio guy. I don't want to be on TV. No, come on. Just do me a favor. Come on down. Come on down. And
Sounds
I
like me.
started just hosting one day. One day became 2 days. 2 days became 3 days. Before you knew it, I took over the whole every afternoon. And then later on, we brought on Sway. We brought on Trace and Franzen. We had Cynthia from The Real World. She was one of our hosts.
Oh wow.
The
I didn't even know
girl,
that.
the girl Ginny Mae, who's on the Real. She was on with us for a couple of months before she went to LA and became who she is now. So you know, we've had Renelle was on our show.
Yeah.
Steve Masters on there. A girl named Mimi Chen was on there. There's been Gil Ashley. This other cat named Gil Ashley was on there. But Rick created this show because he had a vision of bringing music videos to you as the same as a radio station would bring you music. He was going to bring you the visuals.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't even think they played hip hop at first. It
At
was
first, no.
mostly
At first, no.
alternative music.
It was alternative
Yeah.
and regular pop. So you'd see, you know, Michael Bolton. You'd see Janet Jackson. You'd see a
Yeah.
Michael Jackson. You'd see Air Supply.
Yeah.
And then later
little
on-
known fact though, not only did they have just CMC California Music Channel, they had the Country Music Channel.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, so-
And
they
that
had-
still exists now. They have an all-country channel.
Wow.
CMC, if you go to the app.
I can remember mid 80s him doing a rap special.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Andy Kawanami hosted the rap special
Yeah.
called Hip Hop Fridays.
Okay.
So every Friday, Andy Kawanami will play all hip hop.
Right.
So that's when you would get your dose of, you know, at the time.
Oh, I would get excited about it.
Of course.
This pre-Yom TV raps.
No, way before
Yeah,
Young
yeah,
TV
yeah.
raps.
88, 87.
Before that. I remember he's playing Houdini and Run DMC, UTFO, the Fat Boys, Curtis Blow, Grandmaster Flash, and them cats. And I was all excited because that's what I was listening to. That's what I was actually, you know, the records I was buying, you know. So I remember that. Of course, when MTV came with Yo MTV Raps, they changed, they leveled everything. They took the game over with
Yet
that.
again, you had to have cable to get watched.
You had to have cable.
So the broke folks didn't get your
So I'm
TV
sitting
raps.
there, hey,
You'd have to go to your friend's house that had a little amount of money.
so
and cable.
between MTV and Yo MTV Raps and watching NWA wrestling at 3 p.m. on Superstation TBS, I used to sit there and, hey Gramps, you ever thought about getting cable? Hey Gramps, we should get cable. Hey, what do you think about getting some cable?
That's an expense we don't need. That's an expense we don't need.
He finally gave in, but he finally gave. But it took some work. Chuy, we're grateful to have you on here, man.
Definitely a pleasure, bro.
And you bring you bring so much history with you. Just where do you see the hip radio, the music, the whole situation heading?
People want to be entertained, so it's always going to be there. Whether you're getting your dose of music from Spotify, Twitch, Mixcloud, KMEL, KBLX, doesn't matter. Whatever you're watching, you know, YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of these kids have access to a lot of their stuff on their mobile devices.
Yeah.
So they don't really need terrestrial radio. And that's why some of these artists have blown up the way they have, you know. Kaylani and...
So do you
Kate
see radio
Tronada.
dying or no time soon? Probably?
No, because there's always a convenience of you being able to jump in your car or just turn it on.
I do it. I
You
do
know
it
what
in
I'm
the
saying?
mornings on the way to work.
Right. So, I mean, it's
Yeah.
convenience. You know, I don't have to look for an app and then connect it to my phone and then connect it to the stereo, and you know it's like 3-4 steps.
Yeah.
I mean, but some of these car stereos now are syncing up to your phone
Second
immediately.
you walk
Oh,
in the
yeah.
car,
So now
yeah.
you don't have to
My
worry
car,
about it. So
yeah.
now you're able to get your Spotify, you're able to get your Sirius XM,
Yeah.
you're able to get your
Right on
Twitch
your car.
right on your car. So
Right.
now it's making it easier. So will radio die? It will eventually die, but
I think
like I
that'll be a
said,
long time,
it's going to be a while because there's still that
We'll be
convenience.
gone. Yeah, we'll be gone.
Do you feel that radio is no longer cutting edge, or do you think?
Well, it's no longer live. That's the problem.
Yeah.
A lot of the talent you're hearing on these radio stations are not local. So when you turn on a
Yes.
radio station, you're hearing somebody that's doing their show from
Detroit.
Sacramento,
Yeah.
Modesto. You know, and if you're lucky enough to get a big name like a Big Boy, or even Charlemagne from New York, that's not even relevant to your city.
Yes, not your whole area.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, okay, great. I mean, yeah, they're entertaining. Nobody's knocking that they're not entertaining. They are entertaining. But are they relevant to what you're living? Can they tell you about the 3 people that got shot in East Oakland last night?
Yes.
Can they tell you about the
Strike that's
uprising, right, the strike that's going to
Yeah.
happen? You know,
Yeah.
the how they're going to feed the folks down on Mission Street
Right.
Yeah.
because they got food and they need to get the word out. Well,
I-
you
I-
can't get the word out.
I think that's one of the things that's turned me off.
Well, that's turned a lot of people off.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be able to hear somebody that's talking to me about what's happening around me.
I want to be informed.
You know,
Right.
I was your CNN because
yeah,
I was out
yeah.
on the streets.
Correct.
I
Well,
could tell you what was popping.
right.
Yeah, yeah,
Especially when you're in a place like this and you guys pulled up, you see what the other side of
Yeah.
the street looks
Yeah.
like. You wanna know what's going on here
Right.
because there's definitely things going on here.
Track.
And when you turn on and the DJ's on a whole nother page and he's kind of dry and
Dry and
vague.
very, very, very vanilla.
Yes, that vanilla's a perfect
Very vanilla.
description.
No flavor. Real cornbally.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? So, I mean, you know, so the radio has gotten real cornballish and gotten away from real people.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's kind of like
I'm with you on
Sad.
the local shit. Yeah, you don't hear like nothing local at all. Like,
It's
even the news stations aren't local.
It's funny what
Yeah.
you the new. Yes, that is correct. But it's funny what you say the way you do because I have a routine. Is I hop in my truck at like 4:35 in the morning. I just put on the radio, and I put my maps on the phone, and I just go once in a while. I'll listen to a podcast or music on the phone. But I sit there and switch between KCBS, KML, 102.9, and I'll just sit there and switch between, and that's just been my routine to this day. But any other time, I'm usually getting my music whatever
because
whatever app or
that's
site,
where you're gonna introduce
Sirius
to new
or
music. Because,
right.
you know, these radio stations are playing the same 20 records over and over anyway.
I'm at a point.
Jesus
I get
Lord.
so much
like
music
I always
now.
say, they came out with 16 tracks on that album, not just one. They're
Right.
playing the one.
Right.
If there's about 15 more tracks to go. Can we hear something else?
For
Right.
me, with the whole being a DJ and the record
I mean,
pool
it's all about
situation,
marketing, so I get it.
I download from Beat Junkies every day. I get the Rick Lee edits every week. Different albums, local groups, artists that we work with. No, bring me stuff. I'm at a point. I mainly listen to music out of my recently added folder now. I usually go to recently added and let that thing just go. And
You want to get up on the new.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
so-
yeah.
Problem is just so much.
So much.
Between the beat junkies and BPM I got, I mean, I haven't even really probably listened to half the shit I downloaded because it's
Yeah.
just so fucking much music. Like, so much. Like, you don't even get to it. You
No.
know, you got 2 million, a couple million terabytes.
Right.
and all that.
So now DJ nerd questions. You rocked on our Pioneer S9 1200s. You guys were saying, or at least Hugo was saying, you guys use a Pioneer DDJ SC2.
SZ,
There's a whole controversy. It used to be CDJs turntables. Now it's turntables controllers. It's almost like we've accepted the CDJs now. There's the turntable controller issue. And I used to be very much turntables. Today I have a very different feeling, or different take on it, I should say. I believe DJs are DJs, and they're all different. How do you guys feel about all that? Just, I mean, the game has changed. We touched on it a little bit earlier.
I like the convenience,
Yeah,
the plug and play.
yeah,
The only thing that sucks about that though is you got to do these firmware updates.
yes.
And that sucks. You know, whether you got to do an update on your Serato, update on your mixer, update on your digital turntable.
Every couple months.
You know what I'm saying? Because they're fixing them and they're tweaking them. So you have to do the updates. But what happens to just grabbing your turntable, your 1200, plugging it into your Newmark mixer, your realistic mixer,
Right.
and playing? That's what we got into because we love to do that.
Yeah.
But now you got to be a technician.
Gotta be a technician.
Yeah.
Right.
A technician, you got to know how to plug the right one to the right one and the left one to the left one, because if you cross them,
You're gonna go backwards.
it's gonna go in reverse.
Right, and there's so and it's also become so specific. So, I was late to DVS because I took a break. I took a little break from DJing for mid 2000s. I wasn't on Serato till start of 2011, so I was late, and I had an HP Pavilion and a Vestax 05 Pro Serato box, and I'd sit there and I'm learning Serato. All of a sudden, the computer starts updating. I'm like, just give me
Tell
my
everyone,
goddamn
if you're
12
gonna
inches.
DJ with a laptop, just go buy a Mac. Don't even waste your
When
time
I
with
went
it.
to a Mac, right?
Kids, I tell you all the time, kids, make your mom and
So
dad
I
get you a Mac.
hated it. I was
Don't
like,
even
what?
play with those fucking things. Oh
Right,
my
I'm
God.
sitting there like, what is this? Come on,
Oh my
man.
God,
What?
I
I
hate
can't.
that.
This just ain't the same shit.
It takes the fun out of it sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
Sometimes it does.
Now, when I got a Mac, was a game changer.
definitely.
And then, like you're saying, these equipment today. So when I was able to save up and buy, I bought the Rain 62. This is 2013. That was like a Cadillac Escalade from where I come from with mixers. Now I'm on that S9, and I still have that 62 at the house collecting dust. That S9 was a game changer, like no other mixer has
wait
ever.
till you play on the S11.
Yeah, yeah.
You've been playing on the S9. Wait till you play on the S11, bro. You thought the S9 was dope, bro.
But it's like you're saying, all the stuff that this equipment can do today, and
It's only gonna just get better.
yeah. In fact, a while back, I thought one night I came here to jam, and I thought there was an issue with the mixer.
Could have been.
I freaked.
It could have
Not the S9.
Yeah, no, it could have been. Because like I said, they do
But
updates
about the
consistently.
Yeah.
And you know, you gotta just say, okay, it's not working with my computer because maybe I did an update on my computer and didn't update the mixer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there's all kinds of shit and variables that you gotta deal with now.
Correct.
So yo,
Yeah.
That's just how-
And
One
one thing that
we
we've brought up on the show over and over again is you can see Mace is a Stanton guy. He's not even a Techniques guy. He's got one over.
Technique over there.
Right. I live by Techniques. I
just
grew
like
up on
that. I think
Techniques.
they're, like,
I still in love
They
with
just have more
Techniques.
features.
Right. But one thing I've learned, because I want to be Rain. I want to be like Rain, Vestax. I'm on a Pioneer S9, and that's my tool. And what I've learned is it's really about the tool and the DJ and the tool and the mesh of the DJ and the tool.
it's what you
And-
feel comfortable in.
Yeah.
It allows
yeah.
you to be more creative. And
Right.
for me, like I said,
I like Rain. Rain's good.
I love Rain. I love Rain. I still love
Seven's
Rain.
great.
And I think that's why I haven't chopped that 62 yet.
He's using the 57 with the turntables and records.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he doesn't need to have the Serato box.
Right.
When you're spinning vinyl.
Right.
I
That's
got
how I
that
am with my
too. I got
60.
the
Yeah.
SL box still too.
Yeah, see?
But what I'm waiting for is I heard Phase is supposed to make a new phase where they put the card in it with it.
Really?
So you don't have to hook up a box or have a mixer that has it in it. You can hook it up to like an 05 Pro.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. So instead of two USBs, it's all in one.
That's nice.
That's what I
That's
heard.
dope.
Yeah.
That would be
I was
dope.
like, what?
How do you feel about Phase? You
I
know.
haven't played with them ever. I mean, I've seen them.
Yeah.
I've never played with them, so I have
You're
no-
either
I have
gonna
no
love
opinion.
them
I have
or you're
no
gonna
opinion.
hate them. It's one of those. It's
Yeah.
either you're gonna be like, man, fuck these.
So
things.
True Justice, our neighbor, he's on Phase.
Jesus, I-
Mace is on Phase. I've got a collection of a handful of 44.7s, an Ordofon Concords, and
guy,
a
hell,
pile of
this
fucking
guy,
needles to last me for the next handful of years, right?
The next couple of apocalypse.
Right. And I still believe in that. Like that was the whole deal when I was coming
but
up.
see,
Is
like,
not
when I
making that
scratch-
record do all the things you could do and not making that needle
Most
jump.
of the time when I scratch though, like I really scratch on a regular, like a vinyl, and you know,
Right.
When I'm with my homies jamming, I'd rather have a real shit.
So for
Get
me,
that real timing, you know what I mean?
Right.
Even with the phase, it's a little bit, but it's I don't know. My phase set is nice.
I cut up on your
It
Phase and
works.
it's dope. It
It
is dope.
works.
But I know for me, I just
How about
I'm,
the Rain
I'm,
12?
I'm
You
old
tried
school.
those? You ever tried the Rain 12?
No, I want to try those.
They're not bad.
I do
either.
too.
I've
I do
tried
too.
them. They're not bad. I used them this weekend. at
Did you
Bakersfield.
really?
Yeah.
The new ones, old ones, doesn't matter, does it?
I think it might have been the first version.
Yeah,
but
whatever.
They were still good. I mean, I don't know. They feel like a
They
real
feel
Technique
turntable,
platter.
right?
They did.
Yeah.
Still good.
I could see me using those for mobile
you would
gigs.
Like 'em. You would like 'em.
For mobile
Especially
gigs,
oh,
yeah.
You would love 'em. You would love
Not
'em.
take the 12s
feel
out no
just
more.
like it, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like them. They're so.
Yeah, the game is so wide open now,
So
man.
much shit.
For me though, the phase thing, I look at it like, why don't you just get the Rain 12s or just get some CDJs? And that's kind of been my take on it. At the same time, I cut up on your phase, and I'm like, oh wow, these are pretty dope. You know what I mean?
How about the Denon ones? You tried those ones? Those
Okay.
little small ones, like it's like a 45.
It's like a CDJ with a
yeah.
I don't like
motorized
You
platter
don't
on
like it? I haven't. I've seen it at Guitar Center, but I haven't really fucked with it. Like, yeah.
it. Yeah.
You don't like the motor now? Damn, I'm
Nah.
gonna try that one.
Those Rains, though, those are good.
Yeah,
way
that's
to
the
go.
The
only
rain one,
I'm
I
really
tried
interested in
them. I
trying
juggled
those.
on them.
I could.
And I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I'm
these-
really interested in trying those. Out of all the
These are
things,
good.
those I would be
And now they got
interested
the new version, right?
Yeah, there's a new version.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what the differences
Well, it
are
has
from the.
RCAs, right?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. It's
The
not
new
USB,
ones-
it has RCA.
So the old ones work kind of like a controller.
Yeah,
They have the USBs. The new ones you can still do that,
Oh.
but they also have RCA, so you can use them like regular. They call it DVS style.
Oh,
you
dope,
know?
dope,
Yeah,
dope.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Nice.
And it's supposed to be a little more,
realistic.
a little more, I guess, on time.
Less latency.
That's it. Less late latency.
But like I said, I've tried them, and I'm sold on those too. Like, you can't go wrong. That's what Vex uses those. Yeah.
I guess he does
He uses those,
on his
yeah.
videos.
They're good.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go wrong.
Hey, can I get some water? I need to take my meds.
Oh yeah.
Here,
yeah,
I haven't
yeah.
even touched. No, did I touch this one? I didn't even touch this one.
But,
There you go. There you go.
and I'll come back to spin.
We
when
got
I get there, we can-
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have Hugo. We're gonna have Hugo on pretty
You'll
soon.
be in for a treat. He gets down, so.
Yeah,
Dope.
I've been watching
Very
all
dope.
those
Very
videos
dope.
and shit. Definitely, yeah. That dude.
I watch you. I've been watching Hugo for a long time because having my private event DJ business, I see him doing his thing, so I'm always watching. What's this guy doing?
He's on top of it, baby. He's on top of it.
I definitely been watching this shit.
Right. So it's real dope. It's dope to have you on here,
Appreciate
Chewy.
y'all
We don't
having
want to
me
keep
down
you
here.
too much longer.
Definitely an honor, bro. Like, I've been watching you my whole life. man.
Life,
Like,
yeah.
my whole entire life.
Right.
Definitely a blessing, man. We much appreciate it, man. We hope you enjoyed it.
I did. I had a ball, man.
Said,
So.
Yeah.
We're just trying to keep this going. You know what I mean? Yeah, a lot of DJs are hurting. Not just so much for the money, but just for the creative part. Just to, someone like, hey, let's.
Tell them to get a Twitch account.
Yeah,
they,
you know what I mean?
they can,
Twitch
they can let
is-
loose and be
Yeah.
themselves.
Twitch
you
is
know?
the new forum.
Well,
Yeah,
Twitch and Mixcloud. I mean,
Yeah.
there's another one. What's the one out of San Jose that Beats 45? I think.
I've heard of it. I
think it's called Beats 45. They do a lot of video mixing too.
Oh wow.
So check them out, beats45.com. And then between Twitch and Mixcloud, man, get you an account and be
Nice.
creative, man. Don't be at the house mad because you don't have nowhere to spin.
Right.
Just spin at your house. Like I said, a lot of bedroom DJs have become stars.
That's what it is. You know what I bought? I bought that little iRig 2, and boom, there I went,
There you go.
off
That's all
and
you
running.
need.
Yeah. I say the only thing is, if and this is being a true creative and artist, is when you're out DJing live, you got feedback
Yeah,
from that
feed-
crowd
right.
and that energy.
Oh, there's nothing like
when
it, man.
when
There's
you're at
nothing.
your
There-
house,
there's no substitute.
you have to create that energy.
There's no substitution.
But I
for
tell you
know
what,
I
it
mean?
makes
But,
you
I
a
mean,
better
it's-
DJ.
It's like, what else can you do? You can't.
Yeah.
This is out of all of our hands.
Right.
So there's nothing we can complain all
Yep.
day and night.
Yep.
It ain't gonna change it.
Right.
Until they say go back. There's
That's
nothing
it.
we can do. So you gotta adapt.
Sign
You
of the
have to,
times, baby. That's what
Sign
we're
of the
working
times.
Right? I mean,
Chewy, where
everything's
can
day to
people
day.
find you right now?
with. Always, they can find me at Chuy Gomez. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, my Spotify, and my kids made me get it. My TikTok are Real Chuy Gomez. So you can find Real Chuy Gomez or at Chuy Gomez, and that's for most of my social media.
Word.
So connect with me, man. Find
Still
me.
doing CMC.
Still doing CMC,
Yeah,
30
big
plus
shout out,
years.
big shout out.
I'm on every afternoon, 4 to 5, and then on Sundays we've added our oldie show.
Nice.
So we're playing on oldies, 6 to 10 on Sundays. So we're trying to keep the Sunday tradition alive, bringing the oldies
Hell
back to the people.
yeah. I noticed you took that over.
Well, pop it on your
Because
Twitter.
that was the thing. So DJ Mike in his younger years went through his lowrider phase, being from Southside Hayward, Oman. And you'd always be out cruising, Sunday night oldies. And Chuy's the guy who's holding that torch. And that's real. And it's important. It's an important torch
How
to
many
hold.
babies were made to Chuy?
Word.
Come on, man. Come on.
You know.
Come on, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mace the Table is yours truly, DJ Mike. Chuy Gomez. In the back, we got Hugo Gomez. Thursday nights, 8 p.m., DJ Mike and Friends. 9 p.m., the after party. Season 2, Episode 1, the season premiere. We got Chuy, and we're only going up from here. Thank you. Peace.